want to talk now about my friend Claire. She is from Dudley. They have very thick accents in Dudley, you'll be familiar. She talks like that, like she's waiting to die. I love Claire, but she's a few condoms short of an orgy. She microwaves her clothes to dry them. She never cleans the microwave, so she always smells of baked beans. Coarse is the word for her. She's one of those friends you sort of feel like you have to apologise for her. You find it quite funny at the same time. We went to watch Mad Max at the IMAX. Brilliant film, recommend it. But midway through, there are these chastity belts. And she leant over to me very loudly in a very busy IMAX and she went, "Those chastity belts are shit." I said, "Well, why'd you say that?" And she went, "Well, as I always say, if you can get a poo out, you can get a knob in." Something to live your life by, sure. As you always say, never stop saying that, do you, Claire? Little catchphrase. Oh, and she's so bad with men, dreadful with men. She'll go through a different boyfriend every sort of 2 or 3 months, and you know they're a bad egg, just based on their name. She'll introduce me, she'll be like, "This is Zane," or Adolf or something, you just know. And last one, so awful. She came round, she said, "He's got this new sex thing where he likes to ejaculate on my face and take a photo of it." I said, "That's dreadful." And she went, "And I don't know what face to pull." It's a valid question, isn't it? You go like, "Thank you," or do you go like, "Sassy"? No Snapchat filter in the world for that, is there? Yes, and she gets so drunk as well, because we go out gay clubbing. We'll club a gay to death maybe once a month. So pleased with that joke when I wrote it. It's like, take the month off, Joe, fuck it. Because it's just a play on words as well. And I don't really engage with the gay community that often. There's one gay club which I love. It's called Hard Cock Life. And it's a gay hip-hop night. And it's because it's very camp gay men paired off with very aggressive, often misogynist rap lyrics. So it'll be like, "Smash her in the pussy." Yeah, smash her in the pussy! That's really good. I don't know if it's an avocado and feta smash in the pussy, I'm not sure. It's a very good night out. But she gets so drunk, Claire. I had to put her in a cab before midnight the other week. She got this bag of chips covered in curry sauce. She's not very graceful in heels at the best of times. She looks like when I put toilet rolls on my cat's legs. She just sort of like... just not with it. The taxi driver spotted her a mile off. He's like, "You're not coming in this cab with those chips." And she went, "All I want in my life is these chips. That's all I've ever wanted." He's like, "If you soil the cab in any way, you'll have to pay a big fine." She's like, "I won't, I promise, I just want these chips." He was like, "All right." I opened the door for her. She tripped and just pissed the chips into the cab. All over the window, into the chair. And because she was so drunk, she just went, "Shh." It was like pushing them into the road. She's not right. She's not right. When she gets drunk, she comes up with these little wisdoms, these little philosophies. And one of them, I'm trying to live my life by because I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Claire thinks if somebody's difficult with you in life, awkward, making your life hard for any reason, shouldn't try and rationalise with them, shouldn't try and speak to them on their level. You should try and out-weird them. Which came in very usefully for me recently in my local post office. There's a woman there. She's been there about 20 years. I don't like her. She's smug, is the word. One of those faces that's so smug it sort of folds into itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, She looks like someone's punched a quiche. And she's called Lorraine. No, you're better than that. And she's always got some quip, some line. I went in with my passport form, and they do a check and send service at the post office, and she licked her finger and she went through it. And she went, "Your referee has spelt neighbour wrong." And I went, "What?" She's like, "He's missed out the H on neighbour. You'll have to fill it in again." I was like, "Surely that's all right." And she went, No, there can be no risk of any confusion as to what that word means. You'll have to fill it in again." Pushed it back at me. I thought, I'm not having this. It takes ages to fill out that form. You have to send off for it. You have to get a referee. I thought, I'm not having it. So I thought, I'll be a bit weird with her. So I went, "Oh, no, sorry. He's not my neighbour. He's my doctor." She went, "What?" I said, "He's misspelled doctor." So doctor's obviously spelled D-O-C-T-O-R. But he spelt it N-E-I-G-B-O-U-R. He spelt doctor wrong. And she went, "No, that clearly says neighbour." "Oh, doesn't?" Did quiche face back at her, didn't I? How would I describe Johnny? A full Chianti would be about right. He'd met gay people before, he'd met straight people, but he'd not met anyone bisexual. I'm bisexual. I'm not sure if that was made clear to you at the door. Out of interest, are there any bisexuals in? You don't have to cheer if you don't want to. Oh, loads of you. Hi, hello, welcome. Somebody down here. Great, marvellous. Do you get when you say you're bisexual, are people confused by that sometimes? Yes, you're nodding. So that's the thing. I get it's confusing, because I was confused when I first emerged sexually. My first kiss, when I was about 16, was with a woman outside the Snobs nightclub in Birmingham. If you don't know it, the name is ironic. And we were both very drunk, and she burped in my mouth. And that triggered my gag reflex. So I was then sick on her shoes. No, they're only from New Look, chill out. But it made me think for a long time that I was full gay, because I thought that women made me physically sick. That's what I thought for a long time. People say you're greedy as well. Oh, fucking hell, spare me. Right, this is the thing. It's not about the frequency of sex. It's about who you're attracted to. That's literally all the word means. I can't speak for other bisexuals. I feel like I can't speak for other men, but I feel like there's a presumption that all men are up for it at all times. Like, all men are going like, oh, yeah, fuck that whenever. Like, I don't have that libido. Maybe that makes me unusual. I just don't have it. I look at a very comfortable sofa in the same way that I think most people look at a sexy person. For the things I'd do to that. Lie down in a snack, that's what I'd do. If Tinder for sofas, swipe right the whole bloody day, that's what I would do. It's called Airbnb, I know it's an app. And I also get very frustrated with the language of sexuality as well, because I know we've got work to do there, because the three main words that we use are homosexual, heterosexual, and bisexual. All of these words just to do with gender, and only gender. For example, if you say you are a heterosexual male, literally all that means is you are attracted to women. But of course, you won't be attracted to all women. You'll be attracted to a type of woman, blonde, brunette, your partner, whoever it is. And so I feel like it's more nuanced than that, more complex. I prefer the word pansexual. Then people think you're fucking things in the kitchen, so I don't know where to start. And I don't know what I want, really, because sometimes I feel like I just want us all to be fluid and no one ever comes out, but then you would never have the coming out story. And my favourite story in the land is a coming out story. It's my friend Sam. He's a full gay, and he lives at home with his parents, as I do, and he just got the confidence the one night, I don't know where from, and his mum was in the bath. So he went and he knocked on the bathroom door, and she put a towel around. She came to the door and she said, "What is it, Sam?" And he went, "Mum, I'm gay." And she went, "Well, I don't need this anymore." I said gay, not incestuous. Running for the towel. I love that story so much. I love it. So, yeah, I get that it's confusing, and I'd happily have a conversation with anyone about it at any point. I think sexuality is fascinating. I think it's something we should talk about more, really. But Johnny, in the TA, his response to his confusion was to sort of try and bully me. It was the worst form of bullying because it was sort of undercurrent, so you couldn't prove it, but it was constant. It was things like, I think this reveals a lot about him. Every time he got drunk, he kept getting his knob out and showing it to me, going, "Oh, you like that, don't you?" Bloody don't like it, Jesus. It's a car crash of genitalia. His knob did to my knob. You know when you touch a snail on its eye and it goes... Wow. Turned it into a vagina. I told Mum that he kept getting his knob out and she went, "Too much Afghanistan." What does that mean? Like there's a perfect quantity of Afghanistan about it. Oh, no more Afghanistan for me. I'm so full of Afghanistan. He presumed I was gay. Often people do. How could you? I don't know how. But it's fine. I think it's interesting. When I said, "Oh, no, I'm actually bisexual," I think he thought I was asking for sex advice with women because he immediately went, "Oh, well, women like to take control in the bedroom." I said, "Well, I didn't ask, but let's see where this goes." I was like, "Well, when I'm with a girl, I'll be like, go over there." Why is she over there? How long's your cock, Johnny? "Yeah, you've got to be the boss in the bedroom." I haven't got time for invoicing. Do some accounts midway through. Oh, this was awful as well, because he was really hypersex, like really high libido. We were in central Lisbon. This girl walked past us, and he leant over to her and he's like, oh, she's fit, isn't she? I was like, she's clearly underage. There's grass on the wicket, let's play cricket. People are still saying that sort of thing. So to appease it, I made up my own rhyme. If you want to be a gent, get their consent. You know, just a fun one. Could have hashtag feminism. And I didn't want to be at loggerheads with him for the whole time, because I've never been to Lisbon before, so I wanted to see that. I hadn't seen my mates for ages, so I thought I'll ask him about his life, see if I can get him to open up. So I said, oh, what's it like being in the TA? How does that work? And he went, oh, well, probably go on a tour in the next couple of years. So, oh, a tour? What are you doing? Art centres? Theatres? Just keeping it light. And he went, no, this isn't a tour like what you do. This is proper war. Proper war? Somebody's not done a gig in Wigan, have they? I mentioned Wigan, I actually love Wigan. The reason I mention it is a good friend of mine, Karen Bailey, she's a stand-up, and she has this rule, which a lot of comics abide by. If you do a gig and it's hell, and like you die on your ass, you spend the money on something you want rather than on your bills. And I've wanted this necklace for so long. It's a little trumpet. It's called the Blow Your Own Trumpet necklace. But it's £110, and I just can't justify that. I couldn't justify that on a necklace. Then I went to Wigan. I did a gig for £120. They were homophobic. They hated me. Thank you, Wigan. Favourite thing I've ever bought. Oh, the worst gig. The worst gig was on a Virgin flight for Virgin Atlantic. I wasn't allowed to talk about it contractually for a while. I am now. They're wankers. I agreed to it on the basis the people on the flight would know some comedy was happening. They didn't. So it took off between Edinburgh and London, it was. Cabin crew did their announcements, and then they were just like, Joe, perform. So I stood up. Front row were a load of businessmen on laptops. At one point, one of them did laugh, and I thought, well, I've done well there. Then I realised he was watching Friends. Second row were a Muslim family with children, all wearing hijabs. I'm sure very nice. Probably not into poo-out knob-in gags. Somebody tried to walk out. I was meant to do 10 minutes. I did 2 minutes and 43 seconds. They helpfully told me afterwards. And I don't check Twitter, I don't search my own name on Twitter, but Mum does. She found this tweet, which was just on a Virgin flight between Edinburgh and London, and one of the cabin crew got up and did some shit comedy. Lovely. Well, that'll go on the DVD, won't it? Smashing. Yes. Johnny, in the TA. Did not know what to do about him. For a while, and then I realised I know exactly what to do about you, Johnny. I'll use Claire's wisdom, I'll use Claire's philosophy, I'll be ever so slightly weird with you. And I don't think this is this weird. I said to him, I don't like the name Johnny. I'm going to call you René. And then every time he said something hurtful, often it was misogynist, it just made me think that he was the butler to the Duchess. And it just took the sting out of everything he tried. God knows how it worked, but he hated it. I managed it maximum 4 times. We were in a nightclub that evening. Woman walked past us, and he leant over to me and went, look at those great jugs. About a woman. It's the 21st century. The only time I've said, look at those great jugs, is in the glassware section of John Lewis. It's the only time that's acceptable now, I'm afraid. And I went, oh, yes, lovely jugs, René. And he grabbed me, pulled me to one side. He went, right, let's get this sorted before the rest of the stag do continues. You've got 2 choices. We can be friends, or you can keep calling me René. Do you know what? I'll take route B, please, René. I didn't. I agreed to it reluctantly, because I was trying to be diplomatic and we were sharing the same hostel together. Lads. And I just avoided him for a couple of days. That's what I did. I did go into the group the one day. I said, I'm just off to the shop to get some shampoo. Does anyone want anything? And he went, oh, can you get me some condoms? So I bought him a pack of condoms. And he looked at them and he went, oh, I don't like these. They're too tight. Any condom you buy, you can fit over your own head. If it's too tight, you have a medical emergency, I'd argue. Maybe he's using them wrong, some sort of sleeping bag system, I don't know. Love it in my little condom. I don't know. But he came out the shower the one day, he had his body out, a little towel round him, and I spotted a tattoo on his hip there. And I don't have a problem with tattoos, I don't have any myself, but it was a quote, and you know how I feel about quotes. Claire wanted a quote tattoo at one point, but she doesn't really read. And she said to me, she's like, do you know any good quotes? And I was like, well, I'll Google some. I found one that she quite liked. It was, I believe in one thing only, The Power of Human Will. And she's like, oh, that's lovely. Who's that by? Stalin. I'd Googled quotes by evil people. That's what I'd done. She could have had it. She could have had it. So I get it, get a quote tattoo, fine, do whatever, I don't care. But just make sure you've read the book the quote's from. Because I said to Johnny, I said, oh, can I see what that quote is? And he went, oh, yeah, a few of the lads in the unit, we got drunk and got tattoos. Can't remember what it means exactly. It says, cogito ergo sum, which I think means I think I am. Now, some of us may know this. It means I think, therefore I am. So he was close. And I thought about it for a minute. I said, Johnny, you do know that quote's by a guy called Descartes. You do know Descartes' first name was René. What was that? Google it. And he Googled it. Oh, fuck off. We should scratch it out. In for a penny, in for a pound. Says, you do know Descartes was a very prominent homosexual. He wasn't. I just made it up. And what that quote means is, I think, therefore I am. And what it means is, even if you think just a little bit that you're gay, you are gay. That's what it means. That's true. We are not friends. We are not friends. He found out I was doing stand-up about it. He was ever so upset, rang me up. I said, don't worry, I've changed your name. They don't know you're called Peter.